lead now, but he's going to run wide into that left-hander. Oh, only one lap in, it's a doozy.
It is, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second installment of the King of the Road tournament, second race in Group A for these drivers, and we are here live at Mid-Ohio Sport Course on NASCAR Heat 5, and we have 10 drivers out there rocking and rolling on the racetrack, and the goal for them is to finish in the top 4 in the final standings at the end of their 3 round 1 races. And we saw Max Boost in the 1 car find victory lane earlier tonight, Watkins Glen, and here we are. We have Flash 9 out front. Max Boost in the 1 Chevy qualified on the pole for this race, but went off course early, and you can see that he's actually stuck in some traffic right now and having to work his way back towards the front. And we're getting some screenshots of all the action here while we broadcast and bring you the live coverage. We saw even Steven in the 13 car go up there and take the lead for a moment, but several cars have went off course at least once in this race, and it's really shaken up the running order so far. And it's been a crazy start to Mid-Ohio. It's only a 21 lap race. The preset sliders are being used. Fuel and tire wear ×1. They don't need to be to pit road. There's no cautions, no stages. Black flags are on if they do want to go to pit road. And damage is on as well, so they'll have to be very careful. Right now, Flash 9, Land Shark, even Steven, they're the top 3. I'm NOSSCAR CEO and founder Tyler McMurder, alongside 2-time NOSSCAR champion Ayrton Frederick. Ayrton, thanks for joining us, brother. And what do you think of the action so far, man?
Oh, it's been crazy so far. Max, who started that last lap back in last place, I believe 9th, he's already back up to 5th. He just passed 2 cars going to the right-left uphill chicane, and then a couple of other guys just kind of fell off the track in front of him. So he's back in the top 5, and it's going to be fun to see him try to get back into the lead.
I really think so as well, and if anybody can do it, it's Max Boost, Winter Heat Series race winner at the Indy Roval, legendary celebration with the Monster Energy drink at the end of that race. And he's a very fast, very talented sim racer, and he does this a lot here on NASCAR Heat 5, one of the very, very best on the road courses, and he's showing it again here at Mid-Ohio Sport Course. Went off course early, but he's soldiering back very strong, running in 5th, just in front of him in the 4th position, a.k.a. Rubbernecker, one of the 2 Canadians in this tournament, scored in P4, off to a great start here at Mid-Ohio. Several cars went off track at least once, so a lot of them have their work cut out for them if they want to work their way back up the leaderboard before the end of this 21 lap race. Mucka FRR, Front Row Racing League CEO, holding tryouts for his Cup Series on Sunday nights if anybody's interested. He's scored in the 6th position in that 2 car, and just behind him in the 00, I believe it is. No, it's actually Bad Brad in the 34, right there with Rumble Strip. They're having a good battle for 8th and 9th. And it's Hunt for car 11 in the 00, running in 7th. There you see him. And it's an action-packed race so far. Mid-Ohio Sports Course. They know that it's not too long of a race, so they need to get up there and get every point they can while they can. And do we have a lead change, Ayrton?
Yep. Yes, we do. Landshark at some point got around the 47 of Flash, and he's pulled away as well. He's about 10, 15 car lengths out in front.
Wow, and you know what? Mid-Ohio really reminds me of a Sonoma in a sense. It's not a very high-speed road course. It's very technical, a lot of elevation changes. You need to be very careful getting back to the throttle and steering in the lower gears in some of these turns. Oh, there you see Landshark got a little out of control coming up over that hill, and that's a famous spot where the car will want to snap to the left or the right on you. It's just a very tough track. And when you push hard to try to make up time or get time on the cars behind you, sometimes it can lead to mistakes. And I think that that's what we saw with Flash 9 there, one of the very best on the NASCAR Heat 5 and the NASCAR Heat games on the road courses and the ovals for that matter. And you don't see him make many mistakes often, but you saw him make one there, loses the lead to Land Shark. Even Steven in the 13 still scored in 3rd position. And we got a battle for the 4th and 5th positions between the 36 of a.k.a. Rubbernecker and Max Boost in the 1. That's your top 5, Ayrton.
Yep, and Flash just holding steady. He's gained a little bit, I believe, on Landshark, but like you said, very technical track. It is very similar to Sonoma with all the hills, and real easy to spin out if you push just that little bit too hard. It's really tight, too, so passing is super difficult and always really easy to just kind of fall off the pavement.
Absolutely it is, and It's not a very wide road course either. Very easy to overdrive and make a mistake trying to make up time and going off the course, or all of a sudden your right sides or left sides are in the grass and suddenly you got no traction and just pulls your car the rest of the way. It's very easy to make a mistake at a road course like Mid-Ohio. It's been said by many NASCAR fans that it's arguable that stock cars don't really belong on the Mid-Ohio Sport Course, hence the name the Sport Course for sports cars primarily. But here we are. We come here. The NASCAR Xfinity Series in real life comes here. It's always a very exciting and dramatic event with a close finish. And here we are, King of the Road, NASCAR Heat 5, and we should mention Max Boost in the number 1 Chevy Camaro just took the 4th position away from a.k.a. Rubbernecker in the 36 Ford. Working his way back to the front slowly, Ayrton.
Yeah, he's working his way up, and it'll be interesting to see as he gets up to this front bunch of guys who have kind of just held station where they are. Trent Krentz, even Steven in the 13, has been right on the back bumper of Flash, but hasn't quite made the move, definitely trying to set him up. One thing about this track also is that it's really about your flow and about staying in a certain consistency through certain sections of the track. You run wide one corner and it messes you up for the next 3 or 4, so that's where you can really gain ground if the guy in front makes one little mistake. It's very costly on the circuit.
And we were talking about how these drivers just simply need to get into the final 4 in the point standings after these first 3 races in round 1. A lot of them might be thinking big picture. You said a moment ago they're just kind of holding station and not pushing too hard. That might be the strategy. If you're in the top 4, you're in a good seat to advance your way into round 2. 2 drivers get selected amongst all the drivers that get eliminated in round 1 based on fastest race laps. But yeah, if you're in the top 4, no need to push super hard. We saw Flash 9 in the 47 push a little too hard perhaps there. He went off course slightly. And there's Max.
Is up to second.
Wow. Ayrton, you saw the whole thing. How did he do it?
You mentioned that Flash made a mistake, went into the next turn, made another mistake. His groove was thrown off, and the one car was right on his back bumper, really applying a lot of pressure, and 47 just got a little bit too much of the dirt and got sucked off the track, and one car just snuck on by.
I made a joke to you before we began the broadcast because that's when Max Boost went off course and he went back to about 7th or 8th, and I said to you, I'll bet $10 he gets back up there and wins, and I asked if he had PayPal and I made a joke about it. He is truly one of the very best, arguably the best on the road courses here on NASCAR Heat 5. If anyone can get back to the front and rebound from a tough start on a road course here, it's Max Boost, and we're seeing it here. He's up to second, and he's gaining ground on Landshark.
Leader's off track, yeah. So drove it, and one car's going to close right back up to him.
And the top 3, top 4 really are all very close together, similar interval between the 4, and we've been talking about how these drivers are very prone to mistakes on a tough technical elevation change road course like Mid-Ohio. And these drivers might be 1 or 2 mistakes away from really changing the complexion of this race and what the leaderboard looks like. The top 5 are all within striking distance of winning this race if things go a little crazy here in the last laps of Mid-Ohio. I think that we're at about the halfway mark of this 21-lap event.
Yep. One thing I'm noticing with the one car as he works his way through the field, especially noticed it when he was way in the back, basically in last place, is although he's having a battle with somebody, he still runs his own line. He doesn't push and try to make an aggressive move, as we're about to see him go to the outside of the 3 car here. He just runs his own line, runs his own race, and lets the guys around him make a mistake, and that might be what he's forcing the 3 car to do, is he's going to cross him over into turn 2. They're going to go door to door, and one might have a shot. The one car might have a shot into this right-left chicane up here.
Pardon me, folks, and yes, that was wild there. The Earnhardt crossover move, textbook applied there, and these two are not giving up. We have a classic battle for the lead here going on at Mid-Ohio, and another crossover move by Landshark as Max Boost is looking to complete the pass. They did bounce off each other slightly in that last turn. It's twice they've made contact, but both drivers did a tremendous job racing competitively and hard, but also clean. A little bit of contact here and there, a little bit of rubbing. It's all good as long as the cars are still pointed in the right direction. Nobody got used up there. Nobody got forced off track or out of line. That was hard racing, and Max Boost rebounds back to the race lead here at Mid-Ohio Sport Course, the second installment of the King of the Road tournament for the Group A drivers. Coming to you live on NASCAR Heat 5. Hit the like and subscribe button to catch all the action from the King of the Road tournament. starting today all the way until April 21st, Wednesday next week. Landshark not giving up, Ayrton. He's still right there.
Yeah, he's really pushing Stan on that back bumper, and we know, you and I both know, he's a very hungry driver, still yet to even win a race in all of NOSSCAR, so this would be the place to do it. He's really good on the road courses, so right now he sees that lead and he wants to take it back.
And one heck of a talented driver, and you're right, you mentioned no wins for him yet in NOSSCAR, and it's unbelievable that he has not found victory lane, whether it's been Platinum Cup, Motormaster Series, or Trucks. He was so close to finding victory lane in the championship race for the Truck Series at Phoenix, and was edged out by 2/1000ths of a second by Napa Fan 24, who ended up winning the championship that night. Landshark was not a Final Four contender or a playoff driver, and he came very close to getting his first win that night, but I salute him for how he raced Napa Fan that night. He knew Napa had a championship up for grabs, and a couple of the other Final Four contenders were really close to Napa Fan and could have pounced if he made a mistake and slid up into him or something like that. So kudos to him for racing hard and racing strong for his first win, but also being nice and respectful about it as well. Oh, we got a little out of shape coming out of the last turn, held on to it. It's going to cost him a couple of car lengths to the race leader, Max Boost. Max beginning to check out a little bit. Flash 9 running in third, and even Steven still scored in the 4th position, but he's under fire from AKA Rubbernecker in the 36. Behind them.
Sorry.
Oh, that's completely okay. I'm just trying to get a bit of an idea on where the rest of the drivers are running. We haven't checked in on some of the others in a little while. There's Mucka FRR, Front Row Racing CEO. Got a top 4 in the race earlier tonight at Watkins Glen, so a solid start for him to the King of the Road tournament. And I believe that he's right now scored in the 6th position. I'm going to keep working my way through the field a little bit to see if I can figure it out. There's Rumble Strip. There's Hunt for Car 11. So he's ahead of him, that's for sure.
Yeah, I believe Mucka is 6, yeah.
Yes, he is, and I believe that Hunt for Car 11 is scored in the 7th position. And I just saw Bad Brad in the 34 behind him, so yes, there he is. He's scored in the 8th position, and that's a tough break for him, actually, because he qualified 3rd. And from what I hear, Bad Brad is one of the very best on the ovals in this game. Dominates in 2 different leagues that he races in. And that doesn't necessarily dominate the road courses, but they really vouched for him and his skill here on NASCAR Heat 5. He's putting on a good show so far in round 1, just not really running where he would like to. He's got the talent, he's got the skill, just doesn't have the track position right now in Mid-Ohio, and he's running out of laps to get it.
Definitely, and we had a position swap for 4th. Rubbernecker got around even Steven in the left-right chicane. Steven ran up the hill just a little too much, lost a lot of speed trying to make sure he kept the car facing the right way. 36 just stuck right on by.
And that's huge because he needs the points. I was looking at the final race results there from Watkins Glen International, and AKA Rubbernecker finished in the 9th position. So he really needs as many points as humanly possible out of these last 2 races for the Group A Round 1 events. Now scored in the 4th position, just past even Steven in the 13, who finished in 5th earlier tonight at Watkins Glen. So they could both use a good run, but AKA Rubbernecker arguably could use it a little more, and he takes 4th position away.
It's going to be real close for those that last spot or the last 2 spots for the next round. So it'll be interesting to see, especially going into the next race as well, how aggressive these guys get for those top spots. Meanwhile, up front, Max Boost has really pulled away from the 3 car. I mentioned earlier, doesn't matter if he's by himself or in a battle, he just seems glued to one line, and that's really what helped him check out from the 3 car.
It seems like he races the track and not his competition. I've noticed that some of the very best drivers on these games typically run like that. If there's cars quicker than them, they let them go and they just race their race, work on the car, and pay attention to what the track is doing and what the car does over the course of a long run, and make the changes accordingly. And you get a better read on how your car is going to handle if you are racing like that. If you're always hounding people in traffic, trying to take positions, overdriving, and trying to drive the competition around you, you often lose sight on what your car needs to be faster. And Max Boost doing a great job racing the track instead of the competition around him. He was able to rebound after going off the course early in this race. Several cars found the grass earlier in this race, and a lot of them needed to rebound. Max Boost arguably rebounds the strongest here so far if all holds station at Mid-Ohio Sport Course.
Definitely. And you're right about racing the track. Max looks so confident in his own abilities. He seems very, very patient. Just lets everything come to him, and in just 7 laps he passed 8 cars. So he knows what he's doing, and I would say it's a good bet that he's going to hold on for this win.
Safe bet for sure as he crosses the start-finish line again and works his way through turn 1. And a good battle here between Rumble Strip in the 66 and Mucka FRR in the 2. And we should mention Rumble Strip recently took that position from Mucka. Mucka's trying to get it back, mind you. 2 Ford Mustangs having a good battle here. There might have been contact between the two. You can tell Rumble Strip did not mean to make contact. He almost came to a dead stop over there in the second to last turn on this racetrack and gave the position to Mucka. Definitely didn't need to make contact, and showing some respect there and giving him the spot, but gave it to him by a little bit too wide of a margin, in my opinion. Holy, about 12 car lengths separating the two now, but both drivers having a pretty good day here at Mid-Ohio.
And we got a good battle behind him for, what is this, about 8th? Bad Brad's got the 00 all over his back bumper.
Yes, he does. And it is a battle for the 8th position, yes, and the 34 and the 00. Whoa, we saw the 00 getting a little out of shape there coming out of turn 3. He's okay, gathers it back up, and that's Hunt for car 11, making his NOSSCAR King of the Road start here. Second start, second race for the Group A drivers, and looking for a strong result if he can help it. He finished 7th in the race earlier tonight at Watkins Glen, got a little bit out of shape there. See, I would like to remind the folks and the viewers at home, all of these drivers, 45 drivers entered from 5 countries, they're all road course ringers. They're all some of the very best of the best road course racers on the NASCAR Heat 5 games. Some race on Gran Turismo Sport and Project Cars as well, and they know what they're doing. The drivers running 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, they're only running there because they're racing against competitors that are just as good, maybe a little more experienced than they are. So all of these drivers deserve a shout out and a salute for being a part of the 2021 King of the Road tournament. They're all chasing Max Boost in the number 1 Chevy Camaro gear wrench car, making it look strong, making it look fast here at Mid-Ohio. Very easy task when it's Max Boost behind the wheel of one of these cars. Ayrton, what are you seeing out there, buddy?
Right now, I'm going to say that we've just passed halfway a little bit, and we're getting to the point where if somebody wants to go for the aggressive move of just trying to chase the fastest lap, now would be the time to do it. Because we're getting later in the race, and you're running out of time to make a pit stop if you want to just go for that fastest lap bonus rather than hope for a miracle to get back up front.
Absolutely, and what Ayrton's talking about, if the viewers are a little confused at home, the top 2 drivers amongst all the 28 drivers that get eliminated in round 1, the top 2 amongst those 28 eliminated drivers will advance to round 2 based on fastest race laps. So it's very key for these drivers to go out there and run the hottest, fastest lap they possibly can in all 3 of their round 1 races, because if they don't advance based on final 4 in the point standings, top 4 in the point standings in their group, they can still advance based on their fastest race laps. It's a tall order, 28 drivers that you need to be quicker than, and you need to be quicker than 26 of them, but there's still a chance. So these drivers may want to consider coming down pit road if they're near the tail of the leaderboard, the running order, to try to get that hot lap in case they feel like they're not going to advance based on the top 4 in the point standings rule.
That's what it looks like the 66 of Rumble Strip is doing. He looked like he had a real messy last lap. Fell all the way back to 9th. I think he started that lap in 7th. So he's in the pits right now, so we're going to see if he can chase the fastest lap.
Don't blame him. That's a heartbreaker for Rumble Strip. Very good guy, very good, talented sim racer. More on the ovals than the road courses, but was off to a great start here at Mid-Ohio, and he was all the way up into the 6th position at one point. Dropped to 7th, was riding around there, made a couple of clean passes early in the race to be there, and now he's going to pit and lose all of that track position. Flash 9 in the 47 just went off course coming out of the final turn towards the start-finish line, lost a bit of ground but did not lose any track position. Wow. So just to reset things for you, everyone. Max Boost, the pole sitter, still leading the race, has recovered after going off course early in this race. Several cars went off course at least once in this race. It's a very tough, tricky, challenging road course with a lot of elevation changes. We can let you know as well, Land Shark in the 3, who led laps in this race at one point, scored in second, looking for a strong finish. I believe he finished in third earlier tonight at Watkins Glen, so looking to keep that momentum going and advance to round 2 based on the top 4 in the points. Behind him, Flash 9, 2020 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, and he scored in the 3rd position in that number 47 Chevy Camaro, looking strong and holding on to that position very well. Behind him, aka Rubbernecker in the 36, and that's one that some of us maybe didn't see coming. He's very talented, one of the best sim racers on the NASCAR Heat games, on the ovals, the road courses. He would call himself a mid-pack driver, but honestly, it's mostly because of how humble and nice of a guy he is. Here he is in Mid-Ohio, up there running in the top 4, and having a solid run here, running in 4th. Even Steven in the number 13 car runs in the 5th position, 2-time NASCAR World Champion from Gran Turismo Sport, very new to the NASCAR Heat games, coming along very quickly. Several top 5 finishes already in NASCAR on the NASCAR Heat game. He's trying to get around the 66 of Rumble Strip there, who just came out of the pits not too long ago, and he's probably trying to use those 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles to get a fast race lap here, just in case he can't advance based on the top 4 in the final standings. But yeah, even Steven got around him in a hurry there. That might even hold up the progress for Rumble Strip to get that fastest race lap just a little bit. There's Mucka FRR in the number 2 Ford Mustang. Front Row Racing League CEO, scored in the 6th position, I believe. He's had a quiet race. He's went off course once or twice, but for the most part, it's been a very clean race for him, and he's just been slowly trying to work his way back to the front and rebound from that earlier incident. I believe it's Bad Brad in the 34 car that's not too far behind him. There you see him scored in the 7th position. Well,
right
Aaron,
now,
it's been one heck of a race. I was going to ask you, what are you seeing out there? What has surprised you the most about this race?
Yeah, I was going to say, right now, everybody's really spread out. Not a lot of bumper-to-bumper action, and we're seeing it with some guys pushing a little too hard. We saw Flash go off the track a little bit a couple laps ago. Guys definitely being aggressive, going for that fastest lap. I believe the 3 just went off track a little bit, and if there's going to be a battle towards the end of this race, if my math is right, we've got about 4 or 5 to go. Might be off by a lap or 2, but the 2nd place spot is not over, I don't think, because Flash is a very quick driver. He's going to close up to that 3 car, but definitely most surprising, I want to say surprised, but also not surprised, was Max falling all the way back to last and then getting up to first in a matter of only about 7.5 laps, which surprised me because it's such a hard track to pass, but he knows what he's doing better than most other guys, so it doesn't surprise me in that matter.
Putting on a racing clinic here, I would say. Fell back early, rebounded to the lead, and soldiering on with that lead. Land Shark in the 3 car holds down the 2nd position, but as you mentioned, he went off course a moment ago, so he's not really gaining any ground on the race leader, Max Boost, at this time. In fact, Flash 9 in the 47 is cutting into the interval for the 2nd position on Land Shark by just a little bit, and that's 2 points of a swing there. If Land Shark were to... Oh, and Land Shark is actually coming to the pits, so we saw the 00 do the same, and now that's giving up the 2nd place position there. Is he out of fuel, Ayrton, or what are we seeing here?
It might be a matter of fuel, because I do know at Mid-Ohio, these cars, it's a really big track, so the cars might have too small of a fuel tank to do it, so it'll be interesting to see if anybody is saving to do that. I didn't even factor that in. Oh, wow, I didn't even think about that, but the tanks are small on this track. That's an interesting thought.
We got fuel and tire wear on ×1, so I didn't think that this would be a factor here at Mid-Ohio Sport Course. It wasn't a factor at Watkins Glen. Everybody easily made it on the fuel and tires that they had. Some drivers elected to pit to try to get that fastest race lap, and I thought that that's what we were seeing with the 66 and the 00. But then there went Land Shark down pit road, and he was scored in 2nd up there in front of Flash 9. So this puts Flash 9 up into 2nd. It moves aka Rubbernecker, the Canadian, up into 3rd. and even Steven in the 13 car up into 4th, and all 3 of those drivers are within striking distance of each other to still capitalize if one goes off course. So it's not over until it's over here at Mid-Ohio Sport Course, but I'm wondering if everybody else is going to need to visit pit road as well, or if that was some sort of strategy call by Landshark.
If it was a strategy call, it's because he thinks it's going to be that close with everybody else, because these guys might be able to stretch it to make it, but can they make it all the way back around if they're half a lap short? Because it's an elevated track, like you've said. So with all these hills, if you do run out, it's tough to make it all the way around. And right now the 3 car, he came out in 5th, but he's had a really messy outlap, and the 34 Bad Brad's all over him. He's going to get around it maybe right here.
And the 3 comes back to pit road this time by.
Interesting.
I have no idea what's going on with Landshark. He was up in the second position. And you're right, Mucka, FRR, in the 2 car comes to pit road as well. So evidently these drivers do need to come to pit road before the end of this race. Mucka, an experienced driver, would definitely have the knowledge and the wherewithal to save if it was possible, in my opinion, and it must not have been. It was a splash and go for Mucka this time by. Gotta wonder if maybe the pits glitched or something and just simply didn't give service to Landshark in the 3. I really don't know why a second pit stop was made by that driver.
And he's still in it, I think. If I was watching the 1 car go by, the 3's out now, but he lost a lot of time, especially in that second pit cycle.
Rumble Strip is off course. Sorry to interrupt you. He's going to get back on course. We haven't seen too many spins in this race, just a couple of off-track excursions, if you could say, some detours. You follow the tracks in the grass, and there's a couple of those. But yeah, Rumble Strip spun it there, got it back going in a pretty quick fashion, and is driving off. Max Boost leads. Flash 9 second, aka Rubbernecker third, and that's the battle for third on your screen right there. The 36 and the 13, even Steven is right there with them. Gotta wonder if aka Rubbernecker is maybe saving some fuel.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was real slow out of turn 1, and 13 just drove right back by him, so we might be seeing some guys start saving. And maybe you could think the guys who fell back a little bit early on, they might have saved, so now they're pushing, and that could be why the 13's going so hard right now.
Might be why we saw the 13 drop to the 5th position and kind of ride around there for some of the race. You're right, there could have been some strategy deployed by some of these drivers, knowing that the fuel was going to be a major factor before the end of this one. I did not see it coming, and normally I've called probably close to 1,000 races now between 3 or 4 different leagues. I'm shocked, and I didn't see this one coming. I think some drivers are going to be really close on fuel.
Listening to the 1 car's motor, doesn't sound like he's got control of it anymore. Might be the robots. So I believe the race is over when everybody crosses the stripe.
That's going to save the 36 of Rubbernecker. He is out of fuel and coasting over here, but it's Max Boost, the pole sitter, picking up the win. Everybody is still coming across the start-finish line to finish. Flash 9 is out of fuel, and even Steven was able to edge Flash 9 at the line in the 13 car for second.
36 car Rubbernecker, he is out, and I don't even know if he's going to make it back around.
Wow, this changed everything.
He might get a push here from the 66. At the 66, yeah. 36 is going to get pushed by the 66 across the line. And
they're good friends. They race in multiple leagues together. They've been racing together for years, and I think that the 36 car is maybe transparent on his screen, so he's having a tough time doing it for him and helping him out, but that's a nice, respectful gesture there. Mucka FRR in the 2 is coming around, and he's going to pass both of these drivers to take those positions, and that's key points for the FRR CEO. What a race here at Mid-Ohio. I can't believe that there was strategy involved. I think that the fuel they needed to save was close to impossible, and some of them tried it anyways. It paid off for some, but it didn't for others. Max Boost wins, Ayrton. What did you think of this race?
Definitely interesting. There was exciting start with the 1 falling back to the very back and then having to see him go all the way through the field, and then a nice calm middle section where we saw everybody just putting in hot laps and secretly saving fuel. We had no idea. And so those last 2 laps, stuff really heated up, and it's heartbreaking to see that 36 car fall all the way back running out of fuel because he was running real good, so he's going to be in a tough situation going into this 3rd race.
He had a great run going. Drove all the way up into the 3rd position, the Canadian, a.k.a. Rubbernecker, and ran out of fuel on the last lap. I believe he's going to finish in the 7th position. We will confirm the results, and they will be available on the website as well. Main event time coming up here from Road America. The broadcast should begin at about 9:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in about 15 minutes from now. There are the fastest race laps from the event. Max Boost, landslide, a beast on these road courses. What a race and what a finish. Second installment for Group A here in the King of the Road tournament is in the history books from Mid-Ohio Sport Course. We would like to thank all the viewers who tuned in to join us, and we will see you in about 15 minutes for the main event. From Road America, these drivers looking to be in the top 4 in the final standings in their group to advance to round 2 of the tournament. Only 8 drivers make the final round at the Charlotte Roval on Wednesday, April 21st, right here on the NASCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. I'm Tyler McMurder. He's Ayrton Frederick. We'll see you back here in 15 minutes.